We Gucci.
You think it was good enough? You're gonna hit me in the head again?
Oh, okay.
Good evening, everybody.
Why's your hat backwards?
Because it is. I'll flip it around when it's time. I'm Judge James.
I'm Judge Evie.
This is Living for Crits.
Yes, it is.
This is the legendary Walls Dungeon Tavern. And
Ridley's here.
Ridley's here.
Yeah.
Look at that. Hi, Ridley.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's here. I can't really see him. There's his nose. That's all we get. Oh, well. We'll hope you're all having a good night. He's just going to hang out here.
I have no space.
Happy Sunday. As a reminder to Judge Evie and everyone, let's be positive tonight, right? We're going to be positive, upbeat. Okay. No crapping on other people's stuff, right, Evie?
That's what you do, not me.
That is not true. You are miscrapping on stuff.
That's not true.
Ridley has just moved in. I don't know what you want, but it's not happening now.
And took my spot.
All right, so got a lot to talk about tonight.
We do?
Oh, we do, yeah. And crud, we need a core book for this.
I'm not getting one.
We need a core book.
I can't get one.
Well, how am I going to get a core book for this?
Well, I don't...
Why don't you run there and get a core book?
No, they'll see my legs.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, kid.
I don't want to.
Just run over.
I can't even move.
Ridley, back up. All right, now run over. While
Look at my legs.
While she's doing that, let me just chat about some of our news from this week. First off, I kicked off my DCC JJJ challenge. That is the DCC core book. How hard is this? That is the DCC.
Which one do you want?
I don't care. Judge James and Julia challenge.
Both?
Just one.
This one looks cooler.
And hey, Lex, that's the quest in which I'm going to run 35 modules over the course of the next 15 months. So we're well on our way, as this week we continued Gang Lords of Lankmar, and I ran the Imperishable Sorceress out of Chaos Rising on Friday, and then this morning we ran a Strange Night at the Pint and Pony. And here it is. This is a Strange Night at the Pint and Pony by...
Whoa, look, there's a thing on the back for Cyclops.
It is. By Studio 9 Games. That's right, because it was a Cyclops Con release.
That's cool.
For Cyclops Con back in April. And I will be doing a review of this adventure tomorrow on Living for Crits. That's something I'm committing to do. Every Monday after I have completed a module, I will do a review of whatever module I have completed. So you will get 35 of these by the time next year is up. So yeah, it was a good adventure. Had a good time today. This is I'll share more tomorrow. Got a little bit of commentary from someone saying that the DCC JJJ challenge wasn't like the most catchy name. I guess because I linked it to Julie and Julia, which is a really good movie. I don't know why there's hate on Julie and Julia. That's a really good, just epic DCC film, you know? Yeah. So, what movie did you watch this weekend, Evie, that would fit that's a good DCC movie?
What? The Notebook?
I think we should have a whole show about how can you DCC The Notebook.
It was so sad.
Did you watch anything else besides that?
No.
Just The Notebook.
Yeah.
That's a downer of a movie.
So
I'm glad I didn't watch The Notebook. I've seen it. It's bad.
Something new. It's not bad. It's just sad.
Pretty bad.
It's just sad. It's really cringy.
Well, the Plords. Oh, Mark is here. DCC JJJ is a fine name, and I'm sure the idea came from great minds. That's right. It was Mark's idea for the name. Look at that. I mean, it was my idea to do it like Julie and Julia style, but Mark had the acronym because he is the king of acronyms.
What other acronyms has he done?
I don't.
Mark, tell us what acronyms you have done.
I don't think he's done any other ones. I think it's his only acronym.
He could have.
I don't think so. Let's move into Judge Evie Presides.
Yeah.
All right, so Judge Evie Presides is the part of the show where people ask questions to Judge Evie, and then I answer them because she's not running enough games. No. Anyway, you can send your questions to dccjudgeevie@gmail.com. Let's go with the first question.
Okay. Should I do this stupid one? But it's not stupid, but it's kind of...
Just do it. This is from who?
Ben Deef.
Oh, wait. Can't have questions yet. Maybe it is cold in here, and we need some tea. We have tea. Tea. Look at that. Man, it's hot.
It's hot.
Blow on it. It's hot. Don't slurp. It's rude. All right, go ahead and read the first question.
This is from Ben. It's titled DCC questions, but it's not.
Yeah, what's the question?
First off, he put all of it in big font, which was weird.
So he's shouting at us. What's up, Ben? Why are you yelling at us?
Yeah, Ben.
All right, go ahead.
He said, what do you think of that Hornby R1255M Flying Scotsman train set? Well, we looked it up because we know what it was.
And it's a train set. So, we don't think much about it because we don't do model trains.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what to say. If there's some kind of...
a couple times.
Yeah, there's no real thoughts there. Sorry.
Next question.
I don't know what that was.
Next question.
Next question.
This one's from... No, we're going to save that one for last. This one is from Brian McKay.
Okay. Cool.
How do I pronounce this?
Pronounce what? My son? You pronounce it my son.
No.
What? Which word? Chow.
Okay, that's what I thought. Chow, Judge, Evie, and Judge James. Oh, I should do an accent, right?
As long as people can understand what you're saying, yes.
My son and I got to play some games in Bride of Cyclops Con last weekend. 1 DCC and 1 D&D. Great fun. Nice.
It's awesome.
Yep.
It's a good con.
Questions for you. Have you run games for small groups, 2 players, or even 1 player? If so, what suggestions do you have? I have, surprisingly.
So why don't you answer that part first?
Oh, okay. Well, it was at one of our game night things, and originally I had 5 people, but they all quit, so I had 2 people. And actually, I have 2 stories about this.
Well, just tell one, because, time.
Oh, but I'll tell both.
Let's just tell one.
I'm telling both. Deal with it. You always ramble on here anyway. It's my turn. So basically, they all quit. And so I was just sitting there with these 2 children. I didn't know what to do with them. This was with children, by the way. And my advice is to not make it any different than the other game. Because it isn't.
That's good advice.
Just less people.
Yeah.
Yeah. My next story is when I was running No Thank You Evil demos. And this dad came over to me and he goes, yo. I was like, hi. He goes, are you running demos? And I'm like, yeah. And he had his entire family over here. And I'm like, oh, crap. There's like 3 kids and a mom. And like one of them's like a baby. And he's like, oh, can you run the demo for my family? And I was like, oh, yeah, chill. And the mom goes like, I don't remember his name, but the mom was
dad.
Like, well, yeah, he was like, Dad, I'm taking the kids to go get food, have fun. And they all left. And so the dad was like, can you run one just for me? And I was like, sure. So it was just like a one-on-one with me and like a 40-year-old person. It was really awkward. Because there's also a kids game.
So you're saying don't run a kids game with an awkward 40-year-old man?
Yeah.
What if the awkward 40-year-old man is one of our viewers?
I'm sorry.
Rob says, I prefer games with 2 to 4 players. The players make or break a small game. They need to be active players. And that's a good point.
Oh, yeah.
If it's just 3 players and 2 of them aren't talking, that's going to suck.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had another demo like that. I've seen all kinds of things in those.
All kinds of things. all kinds of things. There's crazy no thank you evil demos.
Honestly.
Just nuts.
Yeah, because kids would yell at me, we want more blood. And other kids were like, I want to be a princess.
Read the next part of the question.
Yeah, okay. Number 2. Oh no, we're frozen.
Are we?
Look, it says look, we're frozen over there.
Well, you can just keep going now.
Yeah. Oh, you just paused us.
Oh, okay.
We're not actually unpause us.
We'll just keep
Why
going.
Are you refreshing?
Don't worry about it. Just keep
no,
going.
all the chats are gone.
We're fine. Keep going.
Okay. 2. What advice do you have to streamline or perform minimal preparation to run games? I don't know what that means. I would love to run more games for my son and others, but work and household duties have ramped up in the last month. Cheers, Brian.
Okay. Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think we should hear your answer.
What does that even mean?
What does what mean?
Streamline from middle. Oh! Like, you don't have enough time to prep? What do you do?
Yes.
Okay. I have a story about this. So it was the first time I was ever going to run Sailors,
How did I guess?
Right?
Sailors in a Starless Sea.
Yeah.
Let's say that, yeah.
And I took the adventure to school every day to read it during, like, class time, right? And I only ever made it, like, 2 pages in by the time, like, the entire week was up. And I'm like, shoot, the game's tonight.
Because it's so long adventure to read.
I know. It took forever. So then I was like, well, I'll read it. And I fell asleep with it on my face. And so by the time I woke up, I still didn't have it read yet. And we had to leave in an hour. And I was like, well, shoot, what am I going to do? So I skimmed it. I got the basic plot. And then I ran it.
Very basic.
And went very off plot. And that's what you do. You just got to, use your imagination if you don't have enough time. And bring some stuffed animals.
This is fair.
That is what I did.
I think it's a good question.
Yep.
So, that's how you streamline.
Yep.
I would just say,
Is it drinkable yet?
asking your players to provide you details during the game or through creation, asking them to set the scene for you, and if you have active players, to have them set up what's happening. That always helps. As Kay Melian says, stuffed animals are key. Look at that.
Yes, they are.
Next question.
Next question. This
Great
one's
question.
From,
Thank you so much.
Drum roll, please.
Don't tap next to the microphone. It's from Greg.
Greg!
Woohoo!
Okay,
Thank you, Greg. It's a good question, too.
It is? I didn't read it.
You did read it. You read it to me before.
No, I didn't. I showed you the phone and said, look, this is Greg's question.
Read the question.
I've always preferred creating campaign worlds from scratch, but many GMs prefer running published adventures. What are the pros and cons of each approach?
I have an answer.
Do you really for this question?
Yes.
You never write campaign settings.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, okay. So, wait, what? The pros of writing something.
No, writing a campaign setting.
I don't know what that is, but I'm going to say
Well, you
this
can't
anyway.
answer the question then.
I'm going to answer it anyway. The pros of writing a setting. Oh, that's like the world you're in, right?
Yes.
The pros of that is you can actually understand what you're, like, running for people. Because you don't have to read it. You can actually just make it up in your head.
No, you cannot just make it up in your head.
Yes, you can.
You shouldn't,
You're
though.
making it yourself.
Okay, keep going.
If you're creating something
it's
yourself,
fine. Keep
you
going.
should be able to make it up in your head.
Keep going.
Okay. Then you should, you'll know it better. Or you'll have it in your knowledge, Like, you'll understand it better.
Okay.
Yeah. And but the con of that is you actually have to put thought into it and make it up yourself.
This is a very good con.
Yes. And the pros of running published stuff is all the work has been done for you. And the con is you have to actually understand something.
It's a very good series of answers there.
Wow. Thank you. This is the first that I've actually answered all 3 questions.
No, those are very good answers. I would expound upon them a bit, possibly. I think that...
Well, you told me not to talk that much.
No, I'm just saying, my take was very similar, just a little bit more wordy, in that with an adventure that's like writing a campaign setting from scratch, I feel is a lot of work. And especially if you want to do something interesting or unique in your setting. So I think that if your players, you're going to have to, as the GM, put all of the world building or the setting, knowledge into your players' minds through the game. Whereas a published setting, especially one that has other fiction with it, the players could get themselves engaged in that fiction prior to the game or while they're playing in order to have a better idea of what's happening in the universe, maybe, or to have more buy-in. As an example, if you were a Dragon Age fan and you were going to play in the Dragon Age RPG, you could play the Dragon Age video games and you can read the books, and there's a lot that's already there. But, you also, as a GM, need to have an idea of whether or not that fiction plays a part in your game. That's why I'm a little intimidated by the Star Wars stuff, because I'm a Star Wars fan, not the biggest Star Wars fan. So my players might know more than I do. Savage Rob has another con. Con is that the players might be invested in the campaign saying it's published. They might expect things to go a certain way. That's why when I run Star Wars games, I kill off Han Solo. Because if you kill off Han Solo, then it's an alternate Star Wars universe.
Yep.
Good questions.
No, you did that before he actually got killed, though.
I know.
Crazy.
Spoilers.
Oh.
Is the dog down here? He is down here.
Oh,
Hi,
no.
Ridley.
No,
He's back.
Again.
Come back here.
Oh.
Come back here, Ridley. No, back here. Why are you here? I don't know why he's here. All right. So, anyway, great questions, everyone. Again, send them to dccjudge@gmail.com.
That's right.
Much appreciated. And
Oh,
let's
no,
go
not your
into.
breath.
Let's go.
No.
Mine?
No, Ridley's.
Oh,
Oh, it's bad.
it is.
It's really bad.
Ridley, can you go lay down?
Bye,
It is.
Ridley.
All right, so tonight's topic is cows, sows, and goats, and we're
about
talking
pigs?
and pig. Oh, sows are pigs,
Oh, they are?
and we're talking about DCC RPG. This is my favorite cover.
That's why I got it. I just knew this was your favorite one.
I'm sure that is exactly why you got it. So let's talk about
Okay.
Animals in DCC RPG. Most specifically, animals that you start with when you are just making your DCC character in a DCC funnel.
Yep.
Oh, look at Lex is a cool cover. It is an incredibly cool cover. This is a Peter Mullen, and it's kind of like an alien god in like a test tube thing. So it's kind of cool. This would be out of one of my games for sure, because I like to mix the science into my fantasy. All right, so if you're in a 0 level funnel for DCC, and if you don't know what a 0 level funnel is, in Dungeon Crawl Classics,
You start at 0 level.
right, and you have multiple characters, and many of them will die. And like today's adventure, when we did A Strange Night at the Pint and Pony, the party started with 15 characters, and only 6 made it to the end. And
Yeah.
typically, those 6 characters become your heroes. Well, table 1-3. Did you yawn at table 1-3?
Yeah.
Has your starting occupations. So when you roll, you don't have just a human. You may have
roll one.
a dock worker, or you may have a dwarven apothecarist. And what it determines what your trained weapon is that you start out with. So it could be a pole, or a shovel, or a pair of scissors, or a dagger, or a club, or a short bow.
To demonstrate.
It could be a gong farmer, Rob. That is correct. A gong farmer starts with a trowel as dagger and a sack of night soil, which is poo. But it also has a trade good. Some of these are important to the game. For instance,
Demonstrate.
okay, Evie wants to demonstrate how this
Yeah.
works. Go ahead and roll.
Okay, so I have 2 dice here.
Go ahead and roll.
You gotta get a D100, guys.
Roll. 57.
Mm-hmm.
That's a halfling dyer who starts with a
Yep.
staff and 3 yards of fabric. And
Crazy.
I would start with 15, which is a costermonger who is a knife as dagger and fruit.
What stuff has the thingy, the
We're going to get to
animals?
that in a second. Just let me talk.
There's no animals here.
There are animals here. Some of the options have animals associated with them. So,
Crazy.
for instance, if you get a herder, your trade good is a herding dog. If you get a farmer, your trade good is a hen. And if someone else already has a hen, you roll, and you can randomly get either a sheep, goat, cow, duck, goose, or mule. If you get a dwarven herder, you get a sow.
So,
Well, what are you going to do with these animals? What's the point? Now, the book does tell you that they're great for sending ahead if you want to like search for traps. Nothing's better to check for a tripwire than a 500-pound sow.
That's not true. Why would you ever do that to the poor thing?
So let's talk about what you could do with them otherwise. So what other options, what other things could we do with these characters?
You could train
these
it.
animals.
You could train it to be a fighting animal. You know?
Like a war cow?
Yeah, war sow.
All
You
right.
could do that.
So you can ask your judge to let you have. There's some of these are obviously better than others for that kind of item. Like a herding dog, maybe you could talk your GM into letting it have like wolf stats, or an elven falconer gets a falcon, so maybe you could that's helpful. Mark Plord says war shih tzu. So
Yeah.
I mean, his character did have a battle shih tzu named Nutbiter that became a manimal after being exposed to greenstone shards and is then a PC. So that was something.
Wow.
What would a war cow look like? What would you do with a war cow?
Stu, take a normal cow. You put some armor on it. Don't
Okay.
put leather armor on it, though. That's wrong.
But in the 0 level funnel, where are you finding this armor?
Go find a town and raid them.
But if you're in a 0 level funnel, you're kind of discussing after the adventure. During the adventure.
Okay, during your 0 level thing,
If you don't want to have them be just put to
give
death.
them your armor.
Why? Why would you put your armor on an animal?
If you love the animal, you would want it to live. Like, why would you send
This sounds
an
like
animal
the
in?
exact. Because that's the game.
so mean to the poor thing. You just have it as a pet. You take it with you
More
everywhere.
carne assalto.
What?
Instead of carne asada, carne assalto.
I don't even know what that means.
Never mind. Don't worry about it. All right. So some things that I was thinking of maybe that you
It's
could
making it
use.
your pet.
Well, yes, but like in the game, what other uses would they have? Like a falconer. You know, if you
What
were
is a falconer?
an elven falconer, is someone that's trained to use a falcon.
Like the bird?
Like the Renaissance Festival where the birds go out and hunt. Yeah, like a bird.
Oh.
So maybe
It
if
could
you're
get food for you.
or in an adventure, maybe your GM would let you use the falcon to pick up a key. Like maybe there is a key far away and you send the falcon over to get the key.
Yeah.
That would be something. The sow, the large pig,
Could ram down a door.
it could. Yeah, exactly.
Wow,
Yeah.
I thought of
That's great.
something.
Or the cow could do that maybe. It could like go forward. Greg says a ready source of milk. So for the cow, that would be useful possibly, especially if you're low on foodstuffs. I do think that a chicken, I don't see a lot of use for it, but maybe a distraction for a monster.
No,
You know-
because then the monster would kill it.
You know, if you hit the chicken with a sword enough times, the chicken would a lot of chickens show up and defend the chicken.
Really?
Yeah, that's what happens.
That's not true.
That happens in the Zelda games. If you
Oh.
hit a chicken enough times. Savage Rob says eggs. That could be something. So there are some options that don't involve just sending them to their death. But what about after the funnel? Like how do you deal with these animals after a funnel? Like, do you still have them in your games? Because I think that sometimes they
Yeah.
fade to the background.
Okay, well, if you love your animal, you would not let it fade to the background.
So what are the options for players to do with these animals after the game? I think a herding dog and a falcon makes sense. But let's say someone has a goat. What do you do?
You can ride it.
No, you can't.
You can.
A goat.
Yeah.
A human's going to ride a goat.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. Goats are rideable.
No, they're
Put a
not.
saddle on one.
They're like 40 pounds.
Just hope that you're like 30 pounds.
Shannon says halfling war goats. You're going to lose weight to ride the goat?
Well, if you're half, you could probably ride
What
a
if
goat.
you're not a halfling?
Well, let's hope you don't have a goat.
Gordon says my fiance's pirate character has a fancy hen that were on her shoulder. Dire goat. That is an option. Your GM might allow your goat to enlarge and become a trained riding animal. If I was your GM, I could see doing that, Greg. And say your goat gains size, and now your goat is a steed.
Ow!
And
You stepped on my
I'm sorry.
toe.
Some other animals that are in here that I think are worth pointing out.
Unicorn.
It says, I think a mule is pretty useful.
Yeah.
It has a goose in here. I mean, that could be useful for like Untitled Goose Game, where the goose is aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark's got a great idea. Cast Enlarge. You know what? Enlarge on a cow would be a brutal spell. You have this giant cow. Animal Trainer gets pony. That's gonna be a horse someday. That's pretty useful.
And it could be a unicorn.
That's not how unicorns work.
Cast some magic on it.
Just staple gun a horn to the pony's head.
No, that's mean. You have to duct tape it on so it doesn't hurt.
Rob says it would be amazing to just have a goat with you at all times.
It would.
Well, why? Like, what is the
company.
achievement?
What if you're all alone in a
Gordon
cave?
says enlarged cow equals gas warfare. Now, I want to know about Rob's. What's the goat? Okay, so it's funny. I just want to understand it'd be amazing if the goat's always here.
Okay, but also, say you're alone in a cave and you're all alone. You would have your goat with you.
I would say that the enlarge spell and a goat would be incredibly useful just for shock value. Like if you're a wizard, if you were facing out with a bunch of bandits and
And a
your
goat
wizard
shows up.
just enlarged a goat and now it was like a full-on dire goat, I would
What's
say
that
as a
mean?
G, it means it's a massive goat.
Oh.
I would say that would surprise the bandits so much that they would have to stop fighting. They couldn't. Yeah.
Or they could ram it with their horns.
So let's say the animal dies.
No.
I'm just saying. Let's say the animal dies. What's the proper send-off? I
Have
guess.
a funeral with it.
Well, the question here is to eat or not to eat.
Don't eat it. That's so
I'm
sad.
just saying. Well, you have a cow. Like Rob
you have
said,
a best friend
Rob said
goat.
beef
and then
steaks.
Oh my God, no! Okay, you have a best friend cow. Let's say, you wouldn't eat your friend that died, so I eat a goat that died.
What if it was a dire sow and you had dire bacon? That'd be some big strips of bacon.
I don't like bacon.
Well, I don't eat bacon either. I'm just saying. We had bacon tonight.
Yeah, that wouldn't taste like bacon.
It was Satan bacon.
That did not taste like bacon.
It was Satan bacon.
It was just mush.
Gordon says heroic funeral barbecue. Liking funeral barbecue.
No!
So I think we've discussed this a bit.
You make it your best friend, then when it dies, you have a proper funeral for it.
And then you eat it.
No, you don't eat it.
The funeral is a cremation, but you only cremate it until it's medium rare. Are animals aware of ethereal creatures? That's a good question. I don't know. I guess it's a question. I mean, in DCC, that's up to you, I guess. I think that'd be interesting if a dog, smells them or sees them. Are you sad about this whole thing?
It's trying to yawn, but keep it concealed.
You're like Mitch McConnell all of a sudden. You're like,
Who's that?
he's a man turtle. He's a dire turtle.
Oh, stop using the word dire. It's weird.
Okay. All right. Well, I think this is a good topic
It's
for the night.
Word as
We're gonna undead are afraid of cats, or at least mummies are, according to Mark. I remember that. That was it
Wow.
all undead or just
Really?
Yeah, mummies from the Mummy movie. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like when the cat shows up, and the mummy. What?
I thought of the mummers.
Not the mummers. Yeah, the mummers. The mummers are afraid of cats. The dancing Philadelphia New Year's Day people.
Are the mummers gonna
No,
help?
the mummy, starring that dude, like Imhotep, played by like the poor man's Billy Zane. That guy.
I don't know what.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna move on here, I think. No, Brendan Fraser. I'm talking about the guy that played the mummy, not the other guy who looked like Billy Zane, but it wasn't Billy Zane. That guy, it's like bald Billy Zane, who I think is bald now.
Nice.
All right, we're gonna move into the next Arnold Vosloo. There we go, not Boris Karloff. All right, let's move into the next segment. I think this was a fun one here. All right, so Kickstarter shoutouts this week. You have a few days left to get in on Orcs, a high-octane adventure for DCC
Orcs.
RPG and Hubris by Mike Evans. It's inspired by Mad Max Fury Road, Snowpiercer, and the Gears of War video games. It is a third-level adventure set in the Hubris, a world of visceral adventure campaign setting, which is already out, and it can be easily ported into Umerica, like from American Survival Guide, or MCC RPG. Pretty cool map design, it sounds like. So it sounds like it could be done like multiple times and never be the same. The judge draws playing cards, and those are the train cars and the events, which is pretty cool. And there's a new class called the Gunslinger. Wow. So I am going to be posting a link to that, or just type up Orcs High Octane Adventure. Road Crew shoutouts. Such a big announcement.
Big announcement.
Spawn of Cyclops Con is coming.
Woo!
February 26th to 28th. And we got to get Judge Evie to GM at this.
Maybe I will.
So
maybe,
I will be there.
Maybe not.
And I will be running the Last Will and Testament of Obadiah Faulkner. I'm ready to roll. I'm already prepared. I haven't scheduled it yet, but I'll be running these 2 games.
Ow.
And I'm running
I should run the one that I have up there.
What?
The one, Death Sleeves of Eternity.
You should run Death Slaves of Eternity. That'd be, dude, Judge Evie running Death Slaves of Eternity for 2 days, especially if puppets were involved, you would be sold out so fast.
That'd be really interesting, you know?
So fast.
Yep.
So I'll be running the Last Will and Testament of Obadiah Faulkner, which is a DCC Western, and I'll be running my Cyber Sprawl Classics Neon Knights that I was planning for, I think, DCC days, and I had work stuff happen. Event registration has not started yet. It's all in January. I just saw it today, and I'm excited for it because, you know, there's one thing that I love Goodman Games for. It's... I just sneezed.
I love them for sneezing.
I love them for running these events and having these kind of things that keep us excited even during these times. And Judge Evie has a puppet.
Did you say puppets? Yeah, I did say... Ooh.
Don't hit the screen, please.
I did say puppets.
That thing's head was like 19 pounds.
It's so heavy. Like, if I take my finger... Oh, it's stuck. Shoot. If I take my finger
This is Evie's
out,
Caillou
it just
puppet,
flops.
which is featured in the Mall adventure when Evie runs it. All right, so...
Yep. I should get new puppets.
Featured organization for good this week. So I put a call out for this on Twitter. My friend Steve Main is raising money through Extra Life for the Dayton's Children's Hospital. And I'm going to post a link for that too, straight to his page. He said he's going to dye his hair at $400. He's at like $250 right now. So let's get him some money. The other featured organization for good this week, I didn't think I needed to say it, but I'm going to flip the hat just because... Why not? You know, so haters gonna hate, but I got my Joe hat and I'm walking around my Joe hat. So, booyah! All right. I don't need to tell you where to go for stuff to support this featured organization for good. Yes, definitely vote, Mark. Vote. Get out there and vote. Please. Do what you gotta do. You gotta wait in line. You know, whatever. You know, do it. Vote. All right. Let's make sure the next 4 years are positive. All right. So, where can people find us elsewhere on the internets?
They can find us at I Live for Crits on Twitter, Living for Crits on Instagram, and Search Living for Crits on YouTube.
And if you go to Twitter right now, you'll see that I have posted a really fun comic strip by, I think, Jack Chick. It's a Jack Chick Dark Dungeon strip about Judge Evie. Who knew that crazy dude had anything to say about you? All right, so be safe, be healthy, and be kind. And remember, tomorrow night is my review of A Strange Night at the Pint and Pony. And I'm just going to say, for all the haters out there, Julie and Julia forever.
What the heck does Evie Leaf mean?
What?
What?
Not Black Leaf. No.
Okay, I'm just going to say...
I know how to do the real magic.
Don't watch The Notebook. It's really sad. It's the saddest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. But do watch it because if you like rom-coms, you should watch it. But it's really sad.
Cool. The Notebook is not a rom-com.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It's a rom. There's no com.
That's not a rom-com then. A rom-com is like crazy, stupid love.
Yeah, that was crazy. The ending is not.
No, it's not a rom-com.
It's rom-com.
That's like saying A Walk to Remember is a rom-com.
You like that movie.
Yeah, I know.
I was told you watched it like 10 times in college.
So.
Like a night.
I wasn't in college for that.
Oh.
All right, you know what? We're done. All right.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.
Night.